Mic's up and camera's up.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Yeah, they're never going to stop us here. They're never going to stop us here. What would make you think they were going to stop us here? They're not going to stop us. The left will never stop, that's for sure. Greg in Dallas, Tejas, how you doing, man?
Here we are. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. I can't wait to talk weather with Andy Hooser and UFOs and stuff. We're going to have some fun with Andy today because I've been all over this stuff, and I can't wait to hear some of his commentary, you know?
It's like you were listening to me talk to him in Q.
Yeah, I was. Throw it away, put on a tape, and call it a weekend. That's what I heard. I don't know what that was about.
Oh, no, that was when he's going to be traveling at the end of the month.
Ah, gotcha. Well, guys, welcome inside the CZ Studios. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today and every day here in the Patriot Mobile microphone, Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center. It's all brought to you by the National Rifle Association. So, Greg, we're live on all of our social media, including Facebook.com/Armed American Radio, Facebook.com/Armed American Radio for a Monday afternoon. And I'll let you fill in the blanks and where people can get in on the chat, and then we'll go to Andy Hooser and talk some fun stuff.
Yeah, other places you can watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over at X, we're at AAR Mark. ArmedAmericanRadio.org and .com. Hit that menu icon and then select your watch live or listen live options. And to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, so you get ow. That's me and Andy duking it out for the Heavy 100 to move up the list next year.
Fighting each other over and three little spots.
Ow. Come on, dude, we're friends. Back up. I'm down. Stay down. I'm down. I'll take 80. Andy Hooser, welcome in, brother.
What's up, man? Hey, no, you know what? I don't see it. I honestly don't see it as a fight. I see you and I like it's a frolicking through a field of dandelions, being like,
okay,
hey,
hold it. No.
See, there you go.
I'm not frolicking through any dandelions with you or anybody else, Andy.
We are climbing our way up that ladder, man. It's only the beginning. We are at the base step, and it's going to be a fun climb all the way up.
I don't have any frolicking music.
No frolicking music? I don't know what you would frolic
frolicking music? No? All right. Well, okay, I take this back. We will be surfing through the alien spaceship all the way to the top. How about that?
He's got music for that. Yeah, I'm not frolicking through any dandelion fields unless I'm about ready to get busted on a Coldplay cam. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to say, well, there's that. I will say I am in Kansas, and there are a lot of sunflower fields out right now. So, you know, there's that.
Hold on a second. Hey, Siri, what's the temperature? 70 degrees today.
Oh,
70 degrees, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. I've been thinking about
God bless.
Because I don't think it's going to get over 72 all week here, which is very unusual at this time of year. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know what it is up there, but golly.
We're at 86 today. It was not supposed to be 86. It was right around 81 all weekend, which is doable. I was outside. I enjoyed it. I actually got a little sun and a little burnt. But it's supposed to get back up into the mid 90s by the end of this week, which is not okay. So it gave me a tease of what I get to look forward to. The mornings have been great. I've been driving to work, and it's been 64 degrees outside driving to work, which has been amazing. And I'm like, why can't that be the high for the day? I'd be okay with that, too.
I will tell you this, if the drizzle holds off, and I think it's going to around here, I think I'm going to build a fire in front of the studio tonight, kind of hang out for a little bit. Kind of fun for a Monday.
We did that Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, you live up in the Midwest, you can do that. You also get tornadoes and have Dorothy and Toto and all that fun stuff, too, that I don't have. Well, we have
the American way.
Just not like you do. So, Andy, I got to go here with you. Ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me. You know, this draws really interesting reactions, but I've been doing nothing for the last 2 days but watching UFO video documentaries.
Good for you. I'm so happy. That's amazing.
Sure you are. They fascinate me. It's fascinating, particularly the level of people. I mean, you're talking very high-ranking intelligence people in the U.S. government that are telling you things. Okay, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. And I know you're into that stuff. It's fun to watch regardless, okay? Because it does bring up a lot of questions, you know? And, well, you tie it to gun control or something like that. You can't, other than what kind of weapons do they have, right, that we don't have? And if they can move through time and space dimensions and universes and travel at light speeds and all this stuff, they got a weapon that's probably a heck of a lot better than ours. Probably anything better than we have, right? But I got to tell you, I was fascinated by it. I was watching one about Stevensville, Texas, and I was thinking about Greg. This sighting was in 2008, and the ship was over a mile long, and it was being chased by two F-16s. Over 200 people in town saw that entire thing unfold. And you're probably familiar with it. The Air Force eventually was forced to come out and say, yes, we did, in fact, have two F-16s in the area, and they wouldn't say why. Andy? Why?
That's amazing.
You
I had not heard that story. So
you had 200 people see it. Look it up, Stevensville, Texas.
yeah, that's pretty incredible. Look, I mean, if that's the case, and when the military acknowledges that they had fighter jets in the area that were chasing something, and they wouldn't give really the reason why. I mean, look, something is going on. Whatever it is, we need to, and that's where we need to know. I'm really sad with the announcement today from Congresswoman Nancy Mace that she's going to be running for governor of South Carolina.
She
because
was all
she
over
has
those
done,
hearings, man.
Yeah, she has been. She's been amazing with some of these House subcommittee hearings on UAP and UFO transparency and trying to bring this information out. And I don't want that momentum to slow down. So I want to see more of this information. It's been painstakingly slow of how little information's been coming out, but it's coming out little by little, and they're doing it in small little increments. But when we see it with our own eyes, people can't say that they can say they feel crazy, but when 200 people have witnessed something like that, you can't deny that there's something going on. You just have to try and figure out what it is.
No, when the Air Force comes out and says, okay. Yeah, we were there. Okay. We know you were there. 200 people saw you.
Yeah.
So you were there. Quit lying to us, right? So, okay. Anyway, let's flip over to, there's the music. You can turn the music off. Folks, if you've never watched those documentaries, they're really good. There's two of them you have to watch. One is called The Phenomenon. It's phenomenal, pun intended. The other one is called The Program. And you can find them both on Amazon. Watch them. Watch them. If you think we're nuts talking about this stuff, watch them, because it is really cool stuff. So, all right, let's talk about unidentified flying objects in the form of Democrats that fled Texas today. I've been following this. Paxton and Abbott are not playing games with the Democrats. They've threatened to arrest them, charge them with felonies, and Abbott has said, you be back by 3 o'clock. Now, it's 3:13 in Texas. Greg, do you have any word on that? Are they back in their seats or no? Are they defiant?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. They're still out of state as far as I can tell. This is the third time they've also fled state in order to avoid quorum. It happened in 21, and then when I first got into radio in 2003, they ran to Albuquerque and Ardmore.
Yeah, so I wonder if Abbott's going to follow through this time, because he's talking about getting rid of all of them and replacing them, which the Texas Constitution allows. Is he finally going to step up? Wouldn't that be something to see? Because he would get rid of all of them, and then he has the ability, as governor under the Texas Constitution, to replace them immediately.
Well, a majority of them are going away. Well, not a majority. I think like 5 of them are going to be going away. Anyways, with the redistricting, definitely Jasmine Crockett is going to be disappearing. That congressional district.
So she's too fun to read and watch.
I know, right? That district was originally created in like 91 for Eddie Bernice Johnston, and then she stayed there until she was found to be crooked and retired, and then Jasmine ran and was unopposed, and here we have her.
I can't understand Texas.
Let me tell you about that area first. So that's southern Dallas County. It engulfs everything below I-30 down to I-20, which is Dallas, and then Dallas County South, which would include Lancaster, which is where I used to live, and then we also have DeSoto and Duncanville, and that's about it. And this is a predominantly minority area of Dallas County, and that is why they drew the district the way they did.
Well, I would love to see Abbott follow through. And then you've got Pritzker up in Illinois welcoming them. Defiant. Oh, yeah. You know, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about this, because this is the party that wants to take your guns. And this is the party that just doesn't care. Now, why would they flee? Because they don't like the results of they don't like the political results, because they're not on the winning side. So what do? They flee.
Well, there has to be quorum for anything to be
Right.
passed in the Texas state legislature. And if they are not there for quorum, then nothing can be done.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling this go around might be a little bit different. So we'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Have you been following this?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, it's a big one. Yeah. And again, elections have consequences, good or bad. When you have a massive demographic, especially the Hispanic demographic in Texas that has been turning farther and farther to the right. When you had like Starr County, Texas, in the election in November, that's what, like 98% Hispanic and went overwhelmingly Republican. I mean, these are major wins, and the congressional makeup needs to reflect that.
Yeah, Democrats are a bunch of crybaby, wimp, commie, Marxists masquerading as former Democrats.
Funny.
Who, if we don't get our way, we're just going to flee. That's the way they play politics, folks. We come back. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. 3 more segments. Don't go away.
Good.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the show. Indeed, Mark Walters here in the CZ studios with you. You can check out everything CZ at cz-usa.com, cz-usa.com. And we'll be having a whole lot more with CZ guests, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. Welcome back, guys. Always a pleasure to have you here. Remember, all this is being brought to you by the National Rifle Association, so please go out of your way. And I mean that. If you know, maybe you've had issues with the NRA in the past, I get it. I did too, with management, not the NRA. I got past that, spoke to management. They present this show every single day. They are deadly serious about fighting for your right to bear arms, and that's evidenced by the latest lawsuit we were talking about on the Monster Cast last night. We'll probably get to a little bit of that today. But they are involved now in trying to rid us of the National Firearms Act, and they're working alongside the FPC, Second Amendment Foundation, and others, American Suppressor Association, excuse me, to wipe this out. Guys, the National Rifle Association is so important, and we need numbers, okay? It is $35 to join for 1 year, $85 for 3, $125, maybe $135. I'll have to look. I keep saying I'm going to do that, and I don't. And I did the 5-year. Or you can sign up for $1,000 for life. If you do 1 to 3 years, we're going to send you a free range bag. That's simple. No contest. Nobody pulling your name out of a hat. You sign up, you get a free range bag. We've got a few hundred of them left. They allocated some more for us. They were flying off the shelves. So we have over 1,500 of them now. So get them. They're free. Take advantage of that. It's $35. If you don't want to donate anymore, you don't want mailers coming out, just notify them. They won't bother you. You're a card-carrying member, and we need you on the rolls. So critical. Please make sure to join or rejoin the National Rifle Association. And you can do it by using the AAR promo code nra.org/AAR, nra.org/AAR. They've been real pleased with that. So, Greg, I heard you in the background. Are we good to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw a little bit of an update on Texas and what's going on there.
Give me the update on Texas. Guys, nra.org/AAR. Give us a quick update on Texas, if you would.
Yeah, just briefly. The House has passed a motion to issue arrest warrants for the Democrats.
Okay, now you know Texas better than I do. Andy, jump in here. You and I have talked about this one time before when it happened a couple years back.
Yeah, in 21.
In 21, but nothing happened. It was a lot of talk. We get a lot of talk from Washington and from states. So the House passed the motion. What's the process in Texas next? Can you tell us, or we just have to watch it unfold?
I think we're going to have to watch it unfold, but I believe it goes to the Speaker of the House, and then it will go to, if that passes, possibly to the Attorney General to send out the warrants.
Now, I don't know about you, but I would love to see a bunch of Democrats handcuffed and carted home.
I think all of us would. All of us would.
Enough is enough with these people.
Yeah,
I don't care
done.
that you don't like the results of the election. You lost. You are in the minority in Texas. Deal with it. And how do you deal with it? You come back and you deal with it. You do business because it's your duty. It's your elected duty in Texas. But, you know, none of this bodes well for them because we see what they're up to now. Andy Hooser, Greg, go ahead before I bring Andy in. You were going to say something. Please do.
Just briefly, I was going to say they're scumbags, so what do you expect?
You get it. I mean, you know, we know it. It's a fact. We watch this unfold. These days of everything's got to be a protest, Andy. Everything's got to be an Americans are sick and tired of it. We are fed up with it. Do what you're hired to do by the taxpayers. If you're on the wrong side, come up with something that people will vote for, okay? What's the problem, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason?
Well, that's a problem. The fact is that they think that since people disagree with their ideas, that those people are actually evil. I mean, we just heard, and I don't know if you have the audio clip I have of Jasmine Crockett that just made the announcement over the weekend that, you know, she did the profanity against Donald Trump, but said that we need to stop Republicans because Republicans are allowing Donald Trump to do his agenda with whatever he wants. And we're making a detriment to democracy and what other garbage that she tried to say out there. They don't realize that that's what the people voted for. So while she says that Donald Trump and the Republicans are a threat to democracy, a threat to the United States, so on and so forth, we voted for it. It was an open and fair election. No one's doubting that. No one's challenging that. It was an open and fair election, and we not only won the presidency, we won Congress with the slim majority that we have, and we won the Supreme Court. And they're advocating that because it's against what they want, then therefore it must be against democracy, and they're fighting against. So they, as the ones fighting, it's almost like that Antifa, the whole bash thing. We're going to fight fascism. They're fighting the idea of totalitarianism by being the totalitarians themselves, which is what Democrats are. So you're right. So with this Texas issue, we have Democrats leaving the state because they lost an election. They couldn't appeal to a large demographic in the state of Texas that included a large Hispanic population that overwhelmingly went to Donald Trump. And by the way, the polls still show that they're overwhelmingly still supporting Donald Trump, even with the ongoing immigration battles that we hear about in the media all the time. They don't like it. So therefore, this is their only way to stop it. I always equate them to like a wounded dog with rabies backed into a corner that you don't know what they're going to do because they're on their last desperate leg. They have no other way to fight this politically. This is the only thing that they have. So we have to browbeat them into actually doing it and not waver and cave on our end. We have to just ram it down their throat and tell them that they like it and tell them to say thank you.
None of this ages well for the Democrats. None of this.
No, absolutely not.
None of their
absolutely
tweets, none of their Chris Murphy, none of their Pete Buttigieg. None of this stuff ages well for the Democrats in time, ladies and gentlemen. It does not. Now, do you have the clip, Andy, from Jasmine Crockett
I have it,
that's cleaned up? Can you run that through your board for us because you're in the studio?
Yes. I have it, and it is clean, and it's about a minute. So it not only just gives that profanity piece, but it actually explains why she's so angry.
Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is. But in a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this. But he's been able to get away with this because the House Republicans are complicit. He's been able to get away with this because Senate Republicans are complicit. But most importantly, the courts, especially the Supreme Court, is complicit. And so I think one of the places that we have to start is we are absolutely, they are the highest court in the land, and they have no ethics guardrails. Now you go down to the lower courts, and they do. How much sense does that make? When we know that they're taking money, we have the paper trail, and they refuse to put guardrails on themselves. So it's time for us to do it for them.
How insane is that? So Republicans are enabling him, not stopping him.
Is it especially or is it especially? Just correct me, my grand.
Well,
I'm just asking
that one.
I'm just
You might
asking.
need to ask her a question.
I'm just asking. Is it especially or is it especially? I'm sorry, Jasmine. I didn't mean to call you out on your grammar, but I did. Go ahead, Andy.
It's insane. I mean, look, she says that Republicans are enabling him in the House and Republicans are enabling him in the Senate. Yeah, we voted
that's why we
for
hired
them
him. They're
to
of
do
the same
that.
party. That's that's the way the system works.
And
30.
Donald Trump stacked the Supreme Court and they don't have any barriers. What are you talking? We have 3 branches of government. We have a checks and balance system. And Donald Trump was able to appoint people onto the court because they retired when he was in office, giving him the ability to do so. The same that it's always been done since we've had this 3-branch of government system, and then confirmed through the Senate because we have a checks and balance system. She doesn't like it because she doesn't like the direction we're going, but that's the direction the people voted for. And these are the totalitarians that are angry, calling Donald Trump a totalitarian.
Because they don't like what he's doing, because he's a Republican. I'm old enough to remember when the system and the game was played similar but different. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll talk about it with Andy Hooser when we come back. We've got two more segments to go on a Monday. Do the right thing, guys. Join the NRA. We'll be right back.
Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Indeed. Welcome back to the show. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today and every day. You know, the show's being brought to you by the NRA. We'll tell you that every hour of the program. Please support us in our endeavors to fix the wrongs that we need to right. And the NRA is doing great work behind the scenes now. Not behind the scenes, right out front with all these other great organizations. So make sure to support them, please. Very, very important that we help them build their numbers up. We've got to get up to 6 million again, plus would be huge. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back, my brother from another mother.
Yes, indeed.
So when I think about, you know, I closed the last segment out with I'm old enough to remember when politics was played a little bit differently. Still the same. I mean, it's all politics, okay? I get that. I hate it, but I get it. But at the same time, I remember when there was a respect of who won and who lost. I hated those decisions. I'll never forget when Bill Clinton won the election. I'll never forget where I was. I was sitting in my apartment in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, with a girl I was dating at the time. And we were watching the returns come in, and Clinton won the election, and she was asking me why I was so upset about it. And it was all about taxes at that point because Clinton had run on raising your taxes, and he did. But we lost the election. And you understood the election was lost. You did not like the results, but you didn't kick sand in somebody's face, pick up your toys, and leave and accuse those winners of the election of being Nazis and fascists. You didn't do that. There was a mutual respect, you know, as much as there can be in Washington. So when you see what happens today compared to, that's why, Andy, how many times have we talked? This is not the Democrat Party of old. All right. I would go so far as saying that this is clearly not the Democrat Party of Bill Clinton. And that's fairly recent history.
Of course not.
But you go back, you know, to Kennedy and back beyond that. This is, you know, if you could wake up your dead relatives, they would not recognize this Democrat Party. And if you want proof of that today, just simply look at Bill Maher and watch, you know, he hasn't shifted his positions. The party has shifted on him, which makes him appear to be a little bit more conservative when it's not. It's just the party moving farther and farther to the left. Are they at the end of their ropes? Are we witnessing the total, utter collapse of the Democrat Party?
Yes, we are.
That's a bold answer, Andy.
It was, yeah, no, but I am fully in agreement that is happening. I had a guest on my show, and I cannot remember who it was, and he brought up a really good point. Because you and I both have been watching the trends of the Democrat Party, and over the years, over the decades, have been getting farther and farther and farther to the left. And the guest that I had on, I swear I wish I could remember the name, had mentioned that it happens every time they lose an election. Whenever they lose the election, because I said at the end of last year in November, I said in November that this was going to be the wake-up call, that they've gone too far to the left, that they're going to recognize the error of their ways, they're going to finally do some self-reflection and say, hey, if we're going to become relevant again, that we need to come back to the middle and actually appeal to more people, because that would be the normal, rational thing, because you finally hit a level where you are so far radical, you're pandering to the 10% of not just the Democrat voters in the nation, but the 10% of the actual activists in the actual party itself. And you cannot win. And anybody that's been in politics for any amount of time realizes that you have to appeal to the largest demographic possible to try and get the most amount of votes, the most amount of support, the most amount of money, so on and so forth. So as we were recapping and studying the trend of the Democrat Party, they made the comment, and they said, no, Andy, every time they lose, that's when they go further to the left, thinking, like we've joked about before, is that they think that their socialism is not pure enough. If we just go further to the left, and all of a sudden we'll have a pure utopia, we'll have a pure party of whatever. So they continue to go further to the left, and I think that we are in the middle of watching them implode. Zoran Mamdani is the prime example of that. What did they do right after they lost an election with radicals? They got a candidate that's their new savior, a bona fide Marxist, crazy communist that is their new golden era child that could be potentially the new Barack Obama, where they are going to fast track him in the highest position possible over the next few years because he is now their great savior they're going to look for. They're going further to the left, and it's going to self-implode at some point.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason I bring that up, because remember, this is the party of gun control. Is the Democrat Party, and as they continue to implode, what does that mean for gun rights as we move forward? This is going to be really fun to watch, because you have what now these first 2 years of the Trump administration, as far as gun rights are concerned, are absolutely the most historic, important 2 years for gun rights I think we've seen. Clearly in modern history, if not all of American history, when you put this all in perspective. You know, we don't know what's going to happen in the midterms. I would like to think, and I feel comfortable right now that the Republicans, as long as the left continues doing what they're doing, we'll hold the House, and I think we'll pick up some seats in the Senate. One of them is going to be John Ossoff is going to go away. Vince Dooley's son, the legendary Georgia coach, his son has thrown his hat in the ring, and he's got he's got Kemp's support, and he'll no doubt have Trump's support as well in the state of Georgia. So that's going to be a win for us, I think, with John Ossoff. It would, particularly with what's going on with Trump and the party moving so far left. But when it comes to gun control issues, this 2 years is critical, because if we were to lose the midterms, we're going to have a difficult time in the following 2 years, Andy. So here you have the most pro-gun administration that I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's still not moving fast enough for me, right? It never does.
Right.
But this is no doubt the single most pro-gun administration, at least in my lifetime. And I think in all of American history, to be honest with you, except for maybe the founding era, okay? So what does that mean when the Democrat Party is shifting so far left when it comes to gun control? If we can codify these, that's why this lawsuit with the National Rifle Association and SAF going after the National Firearms Act, if we can win this victory in court and we can build up enough of a majority in the Senate and the House that we could actually codify this with legislation to wipe this out, Andy, I don't see the Democrats taking the White House anytime soon. Now, a lot can happen over the next 3.5 years. We all know that. But if the party stays on their trajectory right now, they are irrelevant for at least 2 more presidential cycles. Would you agree with that, or am I getting way ahead of my skis there? Which is easy to do in politics, by the way.
Sure. Yeah. I am optimistic that I would agree with you on that front. At the same time, the pendulum does swing back and forth, and Democrats always bank on this. And here's what I mean by that. I mean, in this sense, especially, is that when the pendulum swings back and forth, no matter how unpopular they may be at a particular time, when the overall American people, the voter base, whoever gets tired of what's going on and the rhetoric finally browbeats them down, gets them wore out, they get fatigued on it, they're going to look for a different option. And right now, with the way the party is for the Republicans, we are very strong because we're doing what we said we were going to do, and we continue on that trajectory, and we need to stay on that trajectory with less regulation, cutting regulations, government cuts, getting rid of departments, going through the Doge, whatever we're doing here, that Donald Trump's been able to make happen. But at some point, there will be a fatigue there, and people will look at the other direction, and they're hoping that at that time, Democrats will be in such a position to where they will be able to squeak somebody in and continue on with their agenda. What we don't normally put into the equation is that Democrats, when they go in there, they ram through that agenda. They take 2 or 3 steps ahead. When Republicans get in, usually we're very scared of ourselves, and we usually don't retract a lot of it. So we take maybe 1 step back. But Democrats have already taken 2 steps ahead, knowing that whenever they get power again, whether it's in a year from now, 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, whenever that may be, that they already have a 2 steps ahead from where they were last time, and they continue it on. So they know that things are going to change. They know the pendulum's going to swing. They're just going to be in that position to be able to pick up where they left off and continue on. We have to make sure we demolish them so badly, and we continue with what we promised, that we're in that position as well, and we take 5 steps back from their agenda and actually start promoting ours.
All right, I believe the pendulum has already swung to a point where we're beyond return. And I'll explain what I mean. We're getting ready to take a break, and I do want to point out, Greg, you're on your game, because I just got an alert right now that Texas Dems gone AWOL may soon be subject to arrest warrants, House Speaker says. And of course, Greg, you reported that 15 minutes ago. So, golf clap for Greg in Dallas, Texas at the Salem Radio Network. I'll tell you what I mean by when I say the pendulum has already swung, and I don't think it's going to be coming back anytime soon. We'll explain that and wrap up the day. Monday, start your week off with Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Andy.
The only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Well, guys, if you're watching the show, I'm holding up an Attorneys on Retainer card. It's my card because I'm a member. All of my family members have these cards as well, and you should if you carry a firearm. It is an absolute no-brainer to have an attorney in your hip pocket. $35 a month. I know it's tight out there. Believe me, I get it. It's tight at the ranch. It's tight everywhere, okay? We're all in the same boat. But there's some things you got to prioritize. If you carry a firearm, you've already made a decision that you're capable of using deadly force. And if you use deadly force, it is going to be investigated. And if it's investigated, this is the card you want in your pocket right here. Nothing else. This card right here says, I have attorneys literally on retainer. I have attorney-client privilege immediately out of the box. Simple statement. I want to cooperate, but I want to speak with my attorneys. Period. Let them handle it. That's what they specialize in. $35 a month. Do not be that person, please, that looks back and says, golly, why didn't I do that? I should have done that, because now it's going to cost you a fortune, or you're going to wind up with some boneheaded free attorney. It doesn't have to be that way. Attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Get $50 off your sign up, $35 a month for an individual, $25 per person for family like I did, and you can sleep at night, okay? Attorneysonretainer.us. You can find all of our great partners. And, CZ will be up there in the coming week. We just began with CZ, so we're really thrilled about that. CZ-USA.com. HeavensHarvest.com for your emergency food supplies. Emerson Knives. I just used one today to open a couple boxes right down here. I got some pretty cool stuff in the mail today. It was like Christmas in early August, and I use an Emerson knife to open that stuff. Every single day I use those knives. Every single day. No kidding. Check out all of our great partners. Ammo Squared, PatriotMobile.com. We're at the Patriot Mobile Ranch. This is a Patriot Mobile phone. You can activate one as well. PatriotMobile.com. And that's, you can use PatriotMobile.com/AAR. I was just texting with them a few moments ago during the break. We'll be talking with them at the GOA convention coming up this weekend. So lots going on. Visit all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com. Take advantage of all these great things that they offer you, please. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. I closed the last segment with saying I believe the pendulum's already swung. Welcome back, brother. Here's why I believe that. Because we had 4 years of Joe Biden. We didn't just get a bunch of talk and Trump won a second term back-to-back. We actually got to feel and see what the Democrats wanted for us. We got to see what happened during COVID. We got to see the lockdowns. We got to see everything the Democrats want to do to you. We got to watch it play out. Don't forget you had masks on your faces. Depending on where you live, we didn't have that problem here. All right? Many of you behind a blue wall suffered radically. We got to see Fauci in action. This is a little creep that should be locked up right now, spending whatever's left of his rest of his natural life behind bars, no doubt about that. I believe that in my soul. These people are evil. And we got to see, Andy, what the Democrats wanted. That's why Trump is back in office. And as much as I hate to admit this, it's true. We had to go through those 4 years to get where we are today. And because we're there, I believe that pendulum swung, and it's hung up now. I don't think we're going to see it swing back anytime soon. Now, again, when you have mainstream media that's dictating and driving a narrative, and it's false, a lot of people begin to get gaslighted, and that's what the media is up to right now. All you got, don't believe me, folks, just go to drudgereport.com when you're done listening to the show, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that ABC, NBC, So Week, and CBS, MSDNC, CNN, LOL, and the rest of the lefty outlets don't even tell us about good guys with guns. It's all lies. We all know that. Andy, we're past that point of return, I believe. Now, you know, crazy things happen in politics, and 3 years is a long time. Hell, 6 months is a long time. But I believe that we're sick of Jasmine Crockett's. We're sick of Bob Menendez's. We're sick and tired of Chris Murphy's. We're sick and tired of Chuck Schumer's lying right to our face. I think America is on to this, and I think the Democrats are in for a world of dog poop over the next few years, Andy.
Yeah, I would agree. Look, I mean, it's going to be a while before they rebuild, or at least get to a point to where they're structured enough to be a formidable opponent again. Look, I mean, you're right. And yeah, the theme I actually have for my show today is the fact that, you know, if you let a lie go unchecked long enough, then people will begin to believe it, which is why, you know, even though we laugh at and I blow off and we mock the whole idea that that Donald Trump's an authoritarian, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, so on and so forth. They use this rhetoric so much that just like how we did and Republicans did for the longest time when the woke movement started, the transgender movement started, we blew it off. This is really stupid. There's no way people are going to buy this and believe into it. That it actually changed culture enough to where it was so mainstream that shoved down our throats for so much. We had to actually start pushing back. And now what happened? We killed it because we actually pushed back against it. We can't just let it fester. We need to address these things when they actually say it. So that being said, you're right.
We did.
And not at the beginning. I would not at the beginning. We did, because we would say, "Wow, that's really freaking stupid," and we would mock it and then just move on because who the hell would think that you could actually change your gender,
right?
In society?
But here's why I say we did, because we did look when we saw this happening, as you pointed out, we did push back. It took a little while because you're up against a ginormous machine. When you're talking about
and we had to figure out talking points and messaging because we've never been prepared to actually have that kind of dialogue. Like, how do we talk about a conversation of people wanting to change their gender? And it took us a while to figure that out. Once we did it, then we beat it. You're right. But that's what they were, so
I don't see us ever going back to that. Again, that's why I say the pendulum has swung, right? I'm not arguing with you. I'm just kind of buttressing your point, because we had it. We're done with it. Woke is dead. DEI is dead. This country does not want to go back to that, and that's what the Democrats are trying to do. That's a losing message for them, and I don't see any. They got nothing else on the bench that I can see or feel.
They don't. No. And here's the thing. You mentioned this transparency. We are in the information wave right now to where we can look up anything, and that's why they're not winning as well as they used to, because they used to be able to say something and then do something completely different. Now we're holding politicians' feet to the fire. We have audio and video recordings of interviews they've done, from a year ago to 5 years ago to 20 years ago. We have that. We can hold their feet to the fire and show exactly what they've done. We're transitioning now, Mark, from the age of information where we can just look up everything, which we do, to now the age of transparency. Now it's not just about having the information, but it's about putting it into context. It's about understanding it, and it's about holding people to what they said that they believed in or what they said they were going to do. And for Democrats, that's going to be very difficult for them to get around, because they've been the ones, like Joe Biden tried to think it was still 1980s politics when he was president, saying that he believes in the free market and that he believes in the private sector and that he believes in individual freedom, but then turn around and pass policy that would be completely against that while saying it. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't, and they have to recognize that.
Yeah, and the more years and decades that go by, when we look, it's easy to pick on Chicago. We do this from a gun rights perspective all the time. The Democrats own everything in Chicago because they've controlled it for 100 years. It's impossible. You want to checkmate somebody in a conversation, ladies and gentlemen? Ask your Democrat friends if they love it so much why they're not living in a housing project on the south side of Chicago, where all their policies are in play. They won't.
Yeah.
And you can checkmate them easily. Fun conversation, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. It really, truly is. What does this have to do with gun rights, ladies and gentlemen? Everything. Because we are at a tipping point right now where we can literally put these people to bed permanently, but we need your help to do it. Join your organizations, local, national, all of them. If you can swing it, please. That's how we get this done and knock this out of the park and put it to bed. So no matter what happens in the midterms, they're finished. Andy Hooser, where can people watch you and listen to you in the next half hour? The next 5 minutes.
HooserReason.com. Go and check it out. Yeah, we got a lot coming up. It's going to be a fun one, Mark. Always a pleasure for a Monday, brother.
Always fun, brother. Got to start with the weather and some UFOs. I love you, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Talker's Heavy 100, number 94. He is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure to check him out at HooserReason.com. He comes up right after this program on fun stuff. All right, guys, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
Oh, listening to that out right there makes me want to pick up this guitar right behind me over here. You can't see it's off screen. It's to the right of me and kind of behind that sofa there. So I think we're going to do that. Guys, thanks for being here today on a Monday. Appreciate it. We always have fun. Start off the week in a light way with Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. He's a great guy. and a tremendous radio host. If you've not listened to Andy, do yourself a solid and do that. He's the real deal. As far as I'm concerned, one of the top 3 upcoming radio hosts this country's ever seen. He's that good, and he's getting better and better and better every single day. Make sure to check him out at HooserReason.com. Hey, guys, I meant it when I said it. We're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy what's left of your day. Stay safe. Carry on. Carry often. Carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. Please join the National Rifle Association. Join Attorneys on Retainer. Pick up some great products from all of our fantastic partners at ArmedAmericanRadio.com. Buy yourself a new pillow. Buy yourself some new sheets, towels, whatever it may be. My Pillow's got you covered. Use the AAR promo code everywhere. Take advantage of all the great sponsors. They're why we're here, okay? Support them, please. They support you. Support them back. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow, guys.